As the new year dawns upon the war-torn nation of Ukraine, the specter of Vladimir Putin's relentless aggression looms large. In 2023, Putin's insidious plan to inflict pain and suffering on the Ukrainian population intensifies, with a focus on targeting key infrastructure. The Russian forces relentlessly fire missiles and deploy kamikaze drones to plunge Ukraine into chaos and create a refugee crisis. The goal is clear: to undermine the resilience of the Ukrainian people and secure a strategic advantage. However, the Ukrainian spirit remains unyielding, and with aid from nations such as the United States, the UK, Canada, and Germany, the country prepares to weather the storm of Russian aggression. As the frigid winter months grip the region, Russia's callous strategy unfolds. Putin's forces deliberately target heat, power, and water sources to plunge civilians into a state of chaos and desperation. Although deplorable, these tactics come as no surprise, given Putin's relentless pursuit of any advantage for his forces. With each passing day, Russia's military intensifies its assault on civilian infrastructure, leaving countless Ukrainians at the mercy of the biting cold and deprivation. Yet, the resilient Ukrainian people persist. Both Ukraine and Russia brace themselves for the imminent offensives that will shape the course of the war in 2023. While Ukraine holds a stronger position, Russia remains steadfast in its resolve to strike back when winter yields to spring. The Russian forces dig trenches, erect barricades, and destroy bridges to secure defensive positions, aiming to regroup and recover from the series of defeats suffered in the preceding months. As the winter unfolds, it becomes evident that Russia lacks the resources to launch an offensive, while Ukraine's battle-hardened troops await the opportune moment to reclaim their occupied territories. With the arrival of spring, a potentially disastrous Russian offensive looms on the horizon. Putin's forces aim to push across the Dnipro River and reclaim regions previously taken from Ukraine. However, Ukraine, having learned from past battles, is prepared to counter any aggression. Though victory may elude Russia, the consequences of a failed offensive could be dire. In desperation, Putin might unleash tactical or even strategic nuclear weapons, triggering a catastrophic escalation that could lead to World War III. Ukraine's military, despite being outnumbered, has repeatedly demonstrated its ability to outmaneuver and defeat Russian forces. Yet, a decisive victory remains elusive. While Ukrainian offensives will undoubtedly take place throughout 2023, the complete expulsion of Russian troops from Ukrainian borders may only be achieved later in the year, if at all. The key to success lies in receiving crucial weapons and supplies from Western allies. However, the slow pace of aid delivery poses a significant challenge, giving Russia a window of opportunity to regain strength and counter Ukrainian advances. The involvement of Western nations, led by the United States, adds complexity to the conflict. The extent to which these countries are willing to support Ukraine in confronting Russia's aggression is closely observed by other nations worldwide. The delicate balance of providing aid without escalating the situation has led to the restriction of long-range missiles, focusing instead on anti-tank weaponry and surface-to-air missiles. The hope is that Ukraine can achieve victory without compromising regional stability. Despite the grim outlook, the potential for peace negotiations remains bleak. Putin's unwillingness to come to the table and Ukraine's insistence on Russia's complete withdrawal from its territory, including Crimea, creates an impasse. Both sides remain unwavering in their demands, making peace talks unlikely in 2023. The war drags on, with casualties mounting, towns and cities being reduced to rubble, and the Ukrainian people enduring unimaginable hardships. As the conflict rages on, Russia's deliberate targeting of infrastructure takes a toll on the civilian population. Power outages, lack of heating, and disrupted water supply lead to dire living conditions. The situation escalates to the point where many Ukrainians are forced to flee their homes, seeking refuge in neighboring countries. The refugee crisis reaches unprecedented levels, straining the resources and compassion of nations that open their borders to those fleeing the horrors of war. While Putin projects an image of invincibility, cracks in Russia's facade begin to show. The suffering and loss endured by the Russian people, coupled with the conscription of citizens for a war they are losing faith in, breeds discontent and resentment. The Russian economy, already weakened by sanctions, faces further decline, but Putin maintains control over crucial resources such as oil and natural gas exports. As the war takes a toll on the nation, the possibility of internal unrest and the erosion of Putin's grip on power becomes a tangible concern. The year 2023 becomes a race against time for both sides. Russia seeks to cause enough damage to survive until spring, when it can launch its own offensive with replenished forces. Ukraine, on the other hand, strives to secure the necessary weapons and supplies from its Western allies to bolster its military capabilities. The outcome of this race will determine the course of the conflict. As the war in Ukraine continues, its outcome remains uncertain. Military analysts suggest that 2023 will likely resemble the preceding year, with the loss of lives, destruction, and ongoing struggle for dominance. While Ukraine has proven its ability to outmaneuver Russian forces, the sheer numerical advantage of the Russian military poses a formidable challenge. The prospect of peace seems distant, with neither side willing to compromise on their demands. The international community watches with concern as the conflict unfolds. The United States, in particular, plays a pivotal role in determining the limits to which it will support Ukraine against Russian aggression. A delicate balance must be struck to provide necessary aid without escalating tensions further. The consequences of the conflict expanding beyond Ukraine's borders and triggering a global conflict are too catastrophic to contemplate.